And good morning, I'm Carol Costello. Thank you so much for joining me. In Chicago, another tragic incident of a child finding a loaded gun and accidentally killing someone. This time, a 6-year-old killed his 3-year-old brother in a game of cops and robbers. The little boy found the weapon on top of the refrigerator. It was wrapped in pajamas. The boy's father has now been arrested. He's charged with felony child endangerment. The grandfather was watching the boys at the time.
I look out and he was running up the stairs, and he tells me that somebody shot his brother, you know. And I told him, well, who's going to shoot your brother? There's nobody down there. But at the same time, I was running down the stairs with him, and I seen him laying on the floor in the kitchen, and I went and got him.
Let's bring in CNN legal analyst Philip Holloway. Good morning, Philip.
Good morning, Carol.
So what is this father charged with?
He's charged with a Class 3 felony of child endangerment, and under the law in this state, it is a very, very broad definition of child endangerment. Basically, if a person causes or permits the life or health of a child to be placed at risk, and if a child does in fact die, it becomes that felony criminal offense, Carol, carrying a maximum of 10 years in the state penitentiary. If they can find any other charges that they want to tack on to that, it of course could increase his criminal liability, and I expect that if he's convicted, he will spend some time, probably a long time, in prison.
So this father is a gang member, and he bought the gun illegally to provide protection for his family. The bond is set at $75,000. Is it high because he was a gang member, or is that normal?
It's probably high because if he's a gang member, I think it's fair to assume, although we don't know, he may have a criminal history. That's why I say that I expect that there might be additional charges that could be added to this if other crimes are uncovered. If he's a convicted felon, for example, and he's in possession of that firearm, that could be an additional charge. So the bond itself is probably bond that he cannot make. He's probably going to stay put while this case works its way through court.
I just wondered because, you know, some people might say, oh, it was a gang member and he bought the gun illegally, but this kind of thing happens a lot. There was an article on October 14th in the Washington Post. Christopher Ingram was the reporter. He went over past news reports of incidents like these, and he found in 43 instances this year alone, somebody was shot by a toddler. And by a toddler, I mean a child younger than 3. In 31 cases, a toddler found a gun and shot himself or herself, injuring them. How often are parents charged in these cases?
Sometimes they're charged, sometimes they're not. It's going to depend on the exact circumstances of how the gun was protected, or the parent may have attempted to keep the gun away from the parent. You know, prescription medication, Carol, carries warnings that says keep out of reach of children. The same with household cleaning products. Any rational person with any degree of common sense knows that dangerous instrumentalities need to be kept away from small children. And the same holds true with firearms. That is the first step in responsible gun ownership, is knowing how and when to protect that firearm or to keep it away from children. So if the facts and circumstances indicate that there is anything close to criminal negligence that would meet the definition of child endangerment, parents should and frequently are charged.
Philip Holloway, thanks for your insight.
Great to be with you.
Nice to have you here. Checking some